Hello, my name is Cameron Williams. I'm a student athlete here at MAS. Today I'll be interviewing someone today. State who you are, what you do.
My name is Ariana. I'm a singer, and I have both parents. I have lost a parent, and yeah, that's pretty much everything.
All right. Hello, Eric. How's your day been?
Good. It's good.
Okay. Today I'm gonna ask you some questions. See your opinion on these. Uh, First, I'll start. How do you feel that in 2024, about 2.9 million children under the age of 18 has lost a parent each year?
Um, for one, that's kind of shocking because it's a lot of kids that go through those things, and me being a kid that has happened to, and now that I'm growing, understanding, I know most of them kids under the age of 18, they probably don't like 7, 6. They're just getting the gist of what it is, and they're gonna need a parent as they get older. So I just really feel like that is crazy, and those kids do need a hard support system. Because if they do not have support, they will not get far because they will act out of their actions, and they might not know what they are. So I feel like that just needs a step for them to grow as
Okay, and with that, what age were you when your father passed?
I was 7.
So you were old enough to like recognize like what had actually gone on.
I was old enough to recognize what was going on. I was. I can't say that.
I have another question. This one is about your support system and how they have helped you to keep going through this, even though you have lost your father.
Okay, well, I can't say like when I was 7, I was in school and I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Conyers, and I had like a class. It was a lot of us. When I had lost my dad, because he just came to the school the month before for my birthday, and when I had lost him, I wasn't going to school for like a month or so because it was just like I didn't have the energy to do anything. But my classmates, they had wrote me little postcards, and I still got them to this day. Everyone in their class wrote me a little card. And then as I started getting older, like family helped out a lot because it's like certain events that come upon when I get older, like graduation and prom and all that stuff that's coming up now, is it takes a toll on me as a person. Cause like I was young when I lost my dad, but then you be like, dang, you kind of need a father for certain events as a young lady and stuff. But I can't say like school, family, and I was really religious, so I just church kind of helped me out too, because I always ask why did this have to happen to me? Why did this? Why did that? And I had to find a kind of like a peace grounding. So I can say like those support systems have helped me a lot, and my mother, because I know she was in pain because I was in pain, but we both learned how to work through our pain and work with each other to become one.
Okay. Okay. And with that, guys, we'll be ending this interview.
Hello. Can you please give me your name and a description of what you do at the school building?
Okay. Well, my name is Miss Jackson, or Aisha Jackson. I don't know if you're doing it for research purposes, but I am the school counselor. So I work with students on different things, academics, transcripts, post-secondary, personal counseling. So just like a range of different things for student advocacy.
Okay, well, let's take a deeper dive into what we're doing. So, since you said you do help like personal counseling, have you ever encountered a time where a student has lost a parent or a parent figure in their life, and what was your part of helping them to move forward? Like, how was their support system?
Well, so I have been, this is my 4th year counseling, and I've had students who have either lost a parent, or I've only had, I think, one student lose a parent during my process of becoming, or like during my process of working with them. I would say just being there for support, because a lot of them either are staying with someone, or like I had a student that had neither a mother or a father. She lost both, but she ended up staying with a sister, a sibling. And I had a current student who had lost his mom. So I think more so of just like helping with what they need and making sure they are emotionally okay. I guess that's the word to use, emotionally taken care of. So like check-ins, just like I do a lot of random, like, are you okay? It's like, do you need anything, resource wise? And that it becomes a little complicated for my seniors, especially since like financial aid and you have a parent or you don't have either parent. So you like that's a whole different boat of things, but just making sure that they know that they have resources and just being there mentally and emotionally for them.
Okay. So then I have another question. How do you feel that in 2024,
Okay.
about 2.9 million children under the age of 18 lost a parent, and the numbers keep rising?
And they keep rising. Yeah, that's crazy. So I didn't know the facts, so thank you for that part. So 2.9 million. Ooh, that's actually really scary, and I think like that's what makes it important for students to have communities and resources and villages. I'm a big advocate on like creating villages for students, but just making sure that they have a person that they can talk to. But that is a crazy fact. But I don't want to say I'm not surprised with the way life has been lifing for so many people, and like insurance purposes, like how many people have like access to like insurance. So it's kind of those things of like or good healthcare, but it is a scary thing. But that's even more of a way to see it as though like people need people. So in supports and help. So yeah.
Yes, I think you answered all the questions that I needed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello there. Good evening. May I get your name and a role you play in the community?
My name is Zatisha Henning. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a daycare provider. I worked years in the school system for Milwaukee Public Schools for almost 14 years. So I'm really like an advocate for children.
Okay. Well, since you said that you're a mother, has there ever been a time where your child was going through a hard grief or grieving even a parent? And what was your steps to support your child as they were in the process of healing?
Okay, so I did have to experience one of my children grieving the loss of one of their parents, which is their father, because I'm still here. So with that, just the whole idea of even having to explain to my child, because when she lost her father, it was a very, very young age. So she was at the age of understanding and not understanding at the same time. So just trying to, explain that, this is going to be the final time that you see that parent. That was kind of a hard thing. But what I did, I made it very supportive. Just making sure that family was involved. I made sure family was involved. The people that she loved and cared about was there to support not just her, but support me as well to, be able to break this news to a child at such a young age. And to continue the support, what we did was, we make sure we keep her father name alive. We still celebrate his life. We still, we still share memories, because as long as she hold on to the memories, she'll never really, it's like he's not here physically, but his legacy still lives on.
Okay. And you did just say how you try to keep up with yourself. But would you try to keep up with yourself and not let your daughter see? I'm guessing it was your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Let your daughter see your pain behind everything. How did you keep yourself together and still parent?
Knowing that I was raised where, my background in Christ, which kept me to be able to, and I wouldn't say it's just an appearance because it's real life, to continue to grow and continue to know that, I know that we are all on borrowed time. So I know that we have a beginning and we have an end. We know our beginning, which is our birthday, but we don't know our end. So the stuff that we do in between time, we make sure we live that time because we don't know when it's the end of our days. So as a parent and as a person of adult. What I've done was just to make sure that we continue to live, because just because we lose the flesh of someone does not mean we lose ourself in that process. So we just have to continue to live, continue to do what we thought that person would do, or just to make sure per se it was like every Thursday this was a thing that they did. Try to keep that going as long as you can. I mean, it might not be easy, but if you can keep it going until they fully understand that, hey, this person really not here. So with my child, she used to say her dad gave her invisible treats. As she was a kid, if she do good in school, he gave her invisible treats. And so what we do is we keep it going. If she gets funding for her dad every month, so what we did every month, I'll send her funding and say, hey, this is from your dad. This is from him. I'll put his name on it and everything. So just for me to keep strong is seeing that my child is able to grow, even though she still grieves, death dates, holidays, birthdays, she still grieves, but it keeps me stronger seeing the strength of my child. So I think, to answer that question, how do I stay strong? Seeing my child's strength keeps me strong.
Okay, and last final up, just wrap up question. So, with all the research that I have done on this project so far, did you know that in 2024, over 2.9 million kids under the age of 18 have lost a parent every year, and the number goes on from now. And with some of those students or kids, they don't have the right support system. So what can you say to people that'll be there or try to be a support system for those kids?
That's unfortunate. But at the same time, if they're in school, reach out to a guidance counselor, find their favorite teacher, find a teacher, find a good friend, reach out to a godparent, reach out to someone, because sometimes if a person don't know how you really feel, like sometimes kids grieve and don't know that they're grieving. People look at kids grieving and take it as lashing out because they don't know how to articulate that this is what's going on with them. So them being able to reach out to someone for that support, and saying, hey, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm mad, something going on with me, I don't understand. That can help that child kind of like, okay, something was wrong. So now that person that they feel comfortable bringing that much information to can be that person that can say, hey, what's going on? If that kid is comfortable saying, hey, I lost my mom, I lost my dad, or, this is what's going on with me. If they can't help that person, I'm sure they can take that person to someone that can help. Mm-hmm. So I would just say, don't silence yourself. Don't silence yourself because of your emotions and you don't know what's really taking place in you. You don't know how you really feeling, but you just got these feelings inside and you just don't know how to let them out. You just want to explode. I don't know how I'm feeling. How you feeling today? I don't know. Like, you really want to say, I don't know, because you really don't know, but you feeling some type of way. But you might be able to talk to this person and say, I'm feeling this way. And they're like, oh, okay. What's going on today? I don't know. When I went to sleep, I had a dream about, okay, well, cool. So now I know that's triggering something. And hey, I can't help you in this, but let me go talk to so-and-so and maybe they can help you if you're okay with that. So just being able to express that you're feeling a way. You might not be able to explain it, but just not holding it in. Don't hold it in. Don't lash out. And if you do happen to lash out, kind of find somebody. Find help. Find help. Don't be afraid to find help. Don't be afraid to express your feelings. Don't be afraid to speak up.
Good afternoon. May I get your name and the role you play in the school building?
I'm Judith Parker Brown. I'm the principal of the high school.
Yes, nice to meet you, Judith Parker Brown. I just call you Miss Parker Brown.
That's fine.
Thank you. I have a few questions to ask you.
Sure.
Due to my research. So, given your role in the school building, with you talking to many different kids, some kids have a thing of grieving a parent or have lost a parent. What role do you play in that kid's life to make them keep going and be on task?
So there are 3 phases of a relationship in a life cycle. It's attachment, detachment, and connection, right? And so when a student loses the attachment and doesn't get to go through that cycle, they're going to grieve. And the grief of a parent isn't something that just happens once. It doesn't happen for a specific period of time. It can resurface and manifest in a lot of different ways. So it could manifest in a way that, let's say it's the anniversary of a death. It could be a birthday, theirs or the parents'. It could be a holiday. It could be a special occasion like Mother's Day or Father's Day. It can also be events like father-daughter dances and other milestones in a child's life. So it is something that when you lose a parent or lose connection with a parent, it's going to affect you pretty much for the rest of your life. And the goal is to help you learn how to manage that grief when it appears and to be aware of those triggers when they happen. A school's role is, first and foremost, a school should know which of its kids are experiencing this, whether it's loss through death, loss through incarceration, or just loss through absence. All of those losses matter and impact a child's ability to focus and feel good about themselves and get things done. So the first thing is that we just need to know it. The second thing is we don't need to make excuses for it. I'm not saying that knowing it means that we expect less. It means that then we need to support, if that means more patience, if we see acting out being behaviorally making bad decisions or not coming to school, those should be red flags around that. It's helpful if a school can establish an affinity group where other kids have those same issues, and together they can learn how to cope with what they have. It's also important to know what kinds of support systems they have at home so that we have it. The most important thing, though, that we can do is to create a kind of environment where students know what to expect from day to day. It's hard when you're dealing with that kind of grief, whether it's fresh or it's resurfacing, and then trying to figure out school. If school's expectations are constantly changing, if it's not stable, it just adds another layer of stress that is unnecessary. So for that reason, there needs to be, school needs to be a stable, predictable, safe place for all kids, but especially for those who are dealing with traumas that can manifest and affect how they engage and succeed.
Okay, great. One last thing. So, with the fact of in 2024, about 2.9 million kids under the age of 18 lost a parent, in a amount of people or young kids that keep losing a parent each year is rising. How do you feel about that, and what's the part of some of those kids don't have those support systems? So what can you say to other people to make a support system to those kids?
School has to be, the way we hire for people in school has to be different. Instead of hiring simply for content knowledge, we have to hire for people's capacity to mentor and guide young people. And so that there are structures like advisory where they have a one-on-one check-in with an adult every single day. There's someone who knows about what they're going through and what they're experiencing. That's just really important to do as a school. There are all kinds of reasons. And in Milwaukee, where more parents are taken away from kids due to incarceration than anything, there are all kinds of reasons that kids lose their parents. And so it's important to be an anchor parent for kids who don't have an actual parent or are missing an actual parent.
Yes, thank you.
That's it.